Who does Robert Pattinson play in Primetime? Chris Hansen, Inspiration Explained. Warning, trailer, and true story disclaimer before we begin. This video discusses Primetime, the upcoming A24 film inspired by real events. While Robert Pattinson's character is based on Chris Hansen, the movie is a dramatized interpretation rather than a scene-for-scene recreation of history. Some events and conversations may be fictionalized for storytelling. With that said, let's get started. When the first trailer for Primetime dropped, many viewers had the exact same reaction. Wait, is that really Robert Pattinson? The transformation is almost unbelievable. Gone is Batman. Gone is the brooding vampire from Twilight. Instead, Pattinson appears as a calm, soft-spoken, suit-wearing investigative journalist. And if the character looks familiar, there's a very good reason. Because Robert Pattinson is portraying a character heavily inspired by one of the most recognizable television journalists of the 2000s, Chris Hansen. But who exactly is Chris Hansen? Why is Hollywood suddenly telling this story? And is Primetime really a biopic? Let's break it all down. Who does Robert Pattinson play in Primetime? Robert Pattinson portrays Chris Hansen, the investigative journalist best known for hosting NBC's groundbreaking hidden camera investigations. Millions of people remember Hansen for one unforgettable television series, To Catch a Predator. His calm demeanor, direct questioning, and unforgettable opening line, "Why don't you have a seat?" made him one of the most recognizable journalists in America. Unlike many television hosts, Hansen rarely shouted. He didn't need dramatic speeches. His quiet confidence did all the work. The trailer shows Pattinson capturing those same qualities remarkably well. His voice, his posture, even the way he pauses between questions. Everything feels carefully studied. Rather than impersonating Hansen, Pattinson appears to embody him. Who is Chris Hansen? For younger audiences, Chris Hansen may not be a familiar name. But during the early 2000s, he became one of television's most recognizable investigative journalists. Working with NBC's Dateline, Hansen read undercover investigations targeting adults who believed they were meeting underage children after online conversations. The investigations used hidden cameras, decoy houses, and law enforcement waiting nearby. When the suspects entered, Chris Hansen would calmly walk into the room, sit them down, and begin asking questions. Those confrontations became some of the most talked-about moments in television history. They sparked national conversations about internet safety, crime prevention, and media responsibility. Is Primetime a Chris Hansen biopic? This is where many viewers get confused. The answer is not exactly. Chris Hansen is clearly the central inspiration, but Primetime isn't simply trying to retell his life. Instead, the movie uses Hansen's story to explore much larger ideas. It's about the rise of reality television, the ethics of hidden camera journalism, the pressure of network television, and how crime reporting gradually became primetime entertainment. Rather than asking, "What did Chris Hansen do?" the movie seems to ask, "What did this moment in television history do to America?" That's a much more ambitious story. Why did Robert Pattinson take this role? Over the past decade, Robert Pattinson has built a reputation for choosing unusual projects. Instead of chasing blockbuster roles alone, he often looks for emotionally complex characters, people wrestling with difficult moral questions. Chris Hansen fits that pattern surprisingly well. On the surface, he's exposing criminals. But beneath that, he's also part of a television machine driven by ratings, public attention, and enormous pressure. That kind of internal conflict gives Pattinson plenty to explore as an actor. It's exactly the type of layered performance audiences have come to expect from him. The transformation is more than physical. Many actors can wear the right clothes, copy a hairstyle, or imitate someone's voice. What's much harder is capturing their presence. The trailer suggests Pattinson focuses on subtle details, his calm delivery, his controlled expressions, the way he lets silence build tension before asking another question. Chris Hansen became famous because he rarely lost control. Even in highly emotional situations, he remained composed. That quiet confidence appears to be exactly what Pattinson is recreating. And that's why so many viewers barely recognized him at first. Why this story still matters today. At first glance, a movie about a television journalist from 2006 might seem like an unusual choice. But the themes feel incredibly modern. Today, social media, live streams, reality television, and true crime documentaries dominate entertainment. The questions Primetime asks remain just as relevant. Where is the line between journalism and entertainment? Can cameras influence justice? Does public spectacle change the purpose of investigative reporting? Those debates continue today. That's what makes the story feel surprisingly timely. The hidden meaning behind Chris Hansen's character. Perhaps the most interesting thing about Pattinson's character is that he isn't presented simply as a hero or a villain. Instead, he appears caught between two responsibilities. As a journalist, he wants to expose dangerous people. But as the face of a hugely successful television program, he also becomes part of a growing entertainment phenomenon. Those two goals don't always align perfectly. The trailer hints that the film will explore that tension. How much responsibility does one journalist carry when an entire nation is watching? And when does public service begin turning into public spectacle? Those questions seem to be at the heart of Primetime. Could this be Robert Pattinson's next great performance? Robert Pattinson has repeatedly surprised audiences. From independent dramas to psychological thrillers to blockbuster superhero films, he's built one of Hollywood's most unpredictable careers. Chris Hansen may become another defining role. Not because it's flashy, but because it requires extraordinary restraint. Sometimes, the quietest performances are the hardest to deliver. And judging by the trailer, Pattinson may have found another character that completely disappears beneath the actor. Final thoughts. So, who does Robert Pattinson play in Primetime? He portrays a character inspired by Chris Hansen, the investigative journalist whose work on Dateline and To Catch a Predator changed television forever. But Primetime isn't simply interested in recreating famous interviews. Instead, it explores the complicated relationship between journalism, justice, television, and public fascination with real crime. With Robert Pattinson delivering another remarkable transformation and A24 backing the project, Primetime looks less like a traditional biopic and more like a thoughtful examination of one of the most controversial moments in modern television history. Sometimes the most compelling stories aren't about the people being investigated. They're about the people standing behind the camera. So what do you think? Will Robert Pattinson's portrayal of the Chris Hansen-inspired journalist become one of the best performances of his career? Or is Primetime tackling a subject that's still too controversial today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Movie Explain videos, trailer breakdowns, hidden details, and true story deep dives.